Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back. And if you are just tuning in with me for the very first time, it's so nice to meet you. And I'm really glad you're here with me today. I am your host, Heather Carey, nutritionist, chef, mom, and a woman who has been around the block with food. I want to open up about real food in relation to health, weight, and our bodies so you can make peace with what you eat. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Real Food Stories. I am your host, Heather Carey, and today we are winding down 2024, which I honestly cannot believe. Where has the time gone? Seriously, I think this is just a part of getting older, but time seems to be going at lightning speed these days, and sometimes I wish it would just slow down a bit. And especially when we are talking about menopause and nutrition and diets, things seem to be going at a very, very fast pace. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And nonetheless, we are in December, and I always love a good recap of the year to be able to look back on what I accomplished and what I want to carry into the next year. One thing I got off the ground this year was my signature course called Nourish, Your Menopause Journey, which was truly a labor of love for me and a long time coming. I learned so much and had an amazing community of women join me in September, and I am planning on opening up Nourish again in February, so stay tuned for that if you are interested in getting real, credible information and support and community around your menopause journey. Because if you're on a journey with your own menopause transition and strive to feel your best during this time of your life, you definitely don't want to miss out on this. Nourish is packed with all of the best evidence-based nutrition, food, and other hot and timely menopause topics, hormones, weight loss, all of it centered around being your healthiest. And by the end of Nourish, you will feel so much more in control of your whole menopause journey. You will learn more about Nourish in the new year, so stay tuned for that. Again, I'm planning on launching that in February. Okay, last week I did a podcast on some of the best things that happened in the menopause space this past year. Everything from the realization that most doctors are pretty, I'm going to say clueless when it comes to menopause, but it's getting better, to some of the best foods for menopause and health, and which self-care practices were real winners, all the way to new realizations about diets and weight loss. Take a listen if you haven't already. That's just the last week's episode, because this week I want to focus on those things that have made it into the menopause space that seriously need to take a hike. Now, let me start with this again, because I said this last week and I will continue to say this. Menopause is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's not even a marathon. It's like navigating a winding road with twists, turns, and yes, the occasional pothole. But here's the good part. We've got the map now. If you have been with me on my own journey for the past couple of years on this podcast, you might know that I lean into evidence. I will never promote anybody or anything that talks about healthy eating or health in general without making sure that there is some science behind it. I am not here to sell you a fad diet or make money on pills and potions that have zero proof behind them, and most of them have zero proof behind them. And I hope that by listening to me, you have become a little smarter and savvier when it comes to menopause, your health, and making decisions that work the best for you. Now, that is worth celebrating this year. So today I want to take another look back at 2024, like I said, the lessons we've learned, the myths we've busted, and the ways we've grown as a community. This episode isn't just about calling out the bad. It's about shining a light on how much progress we've made together. So whether you're sipping your morning coffee, enjoying a tea break, or unwinding with your favorite mocktail, settle in because this one's for you. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so what keeps popping up again and again in the past year? One term that's truly taken over this year for me that I am becoming a little obsessed with is Meno-Washing. Kind of clever, right? Meno-Washing is a riff on the term greenwashing that was created or realized back in the 80s. Now, greenwashing is the practice of companies making exaggerated claims about their products or services to appear more environmentally friendly. And there's dozens of companies that have been called out for this. And the list is long. But one of the most notable companies in the news recently, in the past even year, has been Lululemon. You probably have heard of Lululemon. They're very expensive yoga clothes. Lululemon has faced accusations of greenwashing, claiming sustainability initiatives while continuing practices that critics say fall short of real environmental impact. For example, despite promoting eco-friendly materials, reports have pointed out a lack of transparency and meaningful progress in reducing their overall carbon footprint. So that's just one example. These companies trying to make themselves look much better than they actually really are and maybe hiding some of the real story. And thus, the term Meno-Washing was born out of this term greenwashing. Meno-Washing is similar. It's when companies, influencers, or even some doctors exploit menopause to sell products that are either unproven or downright unnecessary. They tap into your fear of aging, fear of gaining weight, fear of feeling invisible, and they use it to push expensive creams, supplements, diets, pills, potions, other lifestyle and wellness protocols that promise magic but deliver very little. And let's be clear, this isn't just disappointing to me. I think this is downright harmful. It erodes trust and distracts us from real evidence-based solutions. So today, we're calling it out. We're talking about the influencers, the celebrities, the doctors cashing in on menopause, the supplements and products capitalizing on our fears, and the diets that need to go for good. Because the more you know, the more informed and armed you can be with the right information to make the best decisions for you. I am not saying that all supplements are terrible for you, and if you are taking something because you have a belief in it, that's totally fine. But I want you to understand the facts behind some of the menopause industry and how it can create an illusion of being helpful while taking a lot of your money. And most importantly, I want us to ask, why are we so quick to buy into unproven fads when well-researched options like hormone therapy, for example, are sitting right there out in the open? Why are we so afraid of menopause hormone therapy, but not afraid to take some herbs and vitamins and minerals and things that have not been tested for use with menopause? This doesn't make sense to me. Is it because we're scared of hormones based on those old, outdated studies that I have talked about incessantly in other podcast episodes? Is it because of those sometimes sensational headlines that have long been disproven? Or is it because the shiny marketing for a miracle supplement feels easier to trust than the complicated, nuanced conversations we should be having with our doctors? And maybe it's both. But here's the thing. Modern hormone therapy is one of the most thoroughly researched and effective treatments for menopause symptoms. After that, your diet, and I'm not talking about a diet, I'm talking about what you eat on a daily basis. Your food matters. So menopause hormone therapy and the foods you choose to nourish yourself with are the best and most reliable ways to help your symptoms in menopause. Hormone therapy is safe for most women. The food we nourish ourselves is safe for all women. And both can provide relief, real relief that no overpriced powder or cream can replicate. So why are we reaching for the hype when science is right there waiting for us? Why do we want to go onto some severe diets when we know that just eating well, exercising, strength training is our best solution? We're going to get into that. So let's dig in. All right, I want to start with a deeper look at Meno-Washing, what it is, how it works, and why it's harmful. Look, the fact is, menopause has finally entered the spotlight, and menopause is still looked down upon as something that is wrong with us. I get this. I grapple with making peace with my own menopause experience. My menopause experience started out years ago, and it was full of confusion with very little support from my own medical community. And in the last few years, especially in the last year, I have seen a tsunami of new products, diets, and solutions marketed to us because there is an opportunity of confusion around menopause. And while some of that attention has been good, more conversations and less stigma, it's also created an opening for companies to cash in. Menopause has become a gold mine for marketers, and they're using our legitimate frustrations and fears, weight gain, hot flashes, low energy, mood swings, as leverage to sell things we don't actually need. Now think about it. How many times have you seen words like hormone balancing, metabolism boosting, anti-aging miracle slapped on a product? These are buzzwords designed to hit us where it hurts, making us believe we need fixing when we don't. And here's the truth. Menopause is not a disease, right? It's not something that we have to try to get rid of. It's a natural phase of life. I believe in doing whatever you can to keep yourself healthy and well through the food we eat, by other means like hormone replacement, as well as other well-studied modalities like even cognitive behavioral therapy, for example. What it doesn't require is overpriced potions and gimmicks. And most importantly, what it requires is a lot of awareness and self-compassion for ourselves. This is not an easy time for most women. Some women go through menopause and it's a blip on their radar screen. And then there's the rest of us, and it feels like a real hard transition. So we need a lot of care right now, and we don't need to be taken advantage of. And Meno-Washing isn't harmless. Meno-Washing distracts us from treatments that do work, like the ones I just mentioned: lifestyle changes, nutrition, exercise, well-studied options like hormone therapy. And it also just erodes trust over time. You start taking a supplement, you don't really feel like, is it helping me? I don't know. Could it be? I'm paying tons of money. And then you get even more confused. Then what are you supposed to do? Women deserve better than fear-based marketing. We deserve science-backed solutions and clear, honest information. All right, so let's go into 2024 and talk about some of those celebs that I've mentioned and doctors and supplements and see what we can hopefully not bring into the new year. Now, some celebrities have done great work in bringing menopause into the conversation. I mean, celebrities are well known. They can help us feel less alone and normalize the experience. If she feels that same way, wow, I don't feel like, if she can feel like she's going through menopause, then I guess it's okay for me too. Menopause is a business, though, and people who are famous and well-known seem to come with a know, like, and trust factor. But let's face it, a lot of celebrities aren't just talking about menopause, they are selling menopause. This year, I have seen Oprah out on the menopause campaign trail, Naomi Watts, Gwyneth Paltrow, Drew Barrymore, the list literally goes on, and they are all selling something. Naomi Watts, for example, and her brand Stripes sells topicals, overpriced moisturizers, lubes, and other non-invasive beauty products, which are marketed as menopause friendly. But does that make the products more effective or just more expensive? She also sells a supplement called the Insight Edition, which claims that it takes away hot flashes and improves mood. I get it. I want magic in a pill too. But what I don't want to take are unproven ingredients in a blend that may or may not cause liver toxicity. That scares me more than anything. Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop is also another prime example. Her supplement, Madame Ovary, claims to support hormones, but lacks any substantial evidence. It's just another pricey pill in a fancy bottle. These pills are extremely expensive. $90 a month to take something that has no evidence to support it. And let's not leave out the celebrity doctors that I would like to keep into 2024. And please, let's not bring them into the new year. Dr. Mary Claire Haver, for instance, you have probably heard of her. Everyone seems to know her from her Galveston diet. And she promotes this diet as the answer to menopause weight gain. While her anti-inflammatory focus has merit, the program is expensive, it's restrictive, and it's not a cure-all. She sells a whole host of unproven supplements on her website, and that frustrates me to no end because Dr. Haver comes across as one of those doctors who had to educate herself on menopause because she claims she did not get the proper training in med school, which is a well-known fact for most doctors. So why is she out there selling supplements that have no evidence of helping with menopause, such as overpriced collagen powder? She knows better, and she knows that menopause is a moneymaker. And there's more, like Dr. Ann Kabaka, who sells herself as the girlfriend doctor. Such great marketing. She's not a doctor, but she's also your best and most trusted friend. Except that she also sells unproven pills, powders, bioidentical hormones that do not work and lack any robust clinical evidence. Here's the problem. When celebrities and doctors blur the line between education and marketing, it becomes hard to know who to trust. Celebrities are not doctors, period. And doctors should not be acting like celebrities. Are they really trying to help us, or are they just trying to sell us something? Women deserve solutions, not sales pitches. So I'm hoping that we can leave behind these people in 2024 and have better education in the new year. All right, I have mentioned a few supplements, but let's move on to one of the biggest areas where Meno-Washing shows up. And that's just the overall supplement industry and all the products that go with it. The supplement industry is booming, and menopause has become one of the fastest growing multi-billion-dollar markets. Why? Because supplements don't require FDA approval. It's the Food and Drug Administration. And that means companies can make vague claims without much accountability. Take the so-called hormone balancing supplements. These are everywhere. I can't even call out a couple examples because there are so many of them. I would be here for 5 more episodes calling every one of them out. There's pills, there's powders, there's blends that promise to fix your hot flashes, your weight gain, your mood swings, you name it. But here's the kicker. No supplement can balance your hormones. It doesn't work like that. Hormones are complex, and if you're struggling with symptoms, a well-researched option like hormone therapy under the guidance of a healthcare professional can make a real difference. Then there are the detox teas that claim to cleanse your body, flatten your belly. In reality, these teas are just laxatives in disguise. They don't detox anything. We cannot detox through a drink or a food or a tea. And they can actually harm your digestive system if overused. So again, I want to ask you, why do we keep buying these products? Because the marketing taps into our fears. Fear of aging, fear of losing control, fear of feeling invisible. We have a long way to go. I understand this. But menopause isn't something to fear. It's a transition, and we deserve solutions rooted in science and not empty promises. And some diet trends I saw pop back up this year: keto, intermittent fasting, the circadian diet. These diets have been pushed as solutions for menopause weight gain, but let's take a little closer look at some of them. Keto, which I'm just really surprised that that's actually still like on the forefront. Dr. Ann Kabecka, I know, promotes that. And this just amazes me. The keto diet eliminates most carbs and focuses on fats and protein. And while some people see initial weight loss because you are going into ketosis, and that's a whole other physiological thing that happens, for menopausal women, ketosis can actually raise your cortisol levels. That's your stress hormone that's already elevated. We're already under a lot of stress. High cortisol levels can lead to more fat storage, especially around your belly. Not exactly what we're going for. So you might see an initial quick weight loss, and then you are going to likely be gaining that back. Intermittent fasting is another trend that I have seen rise in the past year. This has been marketed again to us as a quick fix and sometimes as the only fix for menopause weight gain. It's applicable for some people. Some people love intermittent fasting and skipping breakfast, and you do you, but it's not a universal solution. For many women, extended fasting periods can really disrupt blood sugar. It can end up increasing fatigue and even trigger overeating later in the day. So again, might be a quick fix for some quick weight loss, but let's see if you can stick with it. And let's not forget the circadian diet that I've seen make some kind of a resurgence. Circadian rhythm is honoring the daylight and the seasons, and eating only while it's light out and not eating in the dark. So this is like eating with the sun diet. So this diet tells you when to eat based on your circadian rhythms. While there's some logic to eating earlier in the day, I'm all for that. That's fine. Eating breakfast, lunch, and eating an earlier dinner. For blood sugar control, this isn't a magic fix for menopause weight gain. You might end up, if you do eat earlier in the day and then you don't eat for the rest of the evening and make a conscious effort when you might have been snacking at nighttime, you might see some weight loss. But I wouldn't go on the circadian diet and eat with the sun because of, just strictly for weight loss. So here's the bottom line. Weight gain during menopause is complex. It's influenced by our hormones, our lifestyle, genetics, and our age, most importantly. Extreme diets are not the answer. Instead, focus on balanced meals, plenty of protein, fiber, healthy fats, and regular movement that you actually enjoy. So as we close out 2024, let's leave the concept of Meno-Washing behind. Let's stop giving our money and our trust to products, diets, and people who do not have the science to back up their claims. Instead, let's focus on what does work. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If you are questioning it even for a second, it probably is something to not be trusted. Okay, and let's instead focus on what does work and go into 2025 with a renewed energy for looking at well-studied treatments like hormone therapy when appropriate, simple nourishing foods that support our changing bodies, our movement, stress management, our sleep, and most importantly, a commitment to questioning what we're sold and advocating for real evidence-based care. Menopause is not something to fear. We're not always going to feel happy about it. I think that in this country, the concept of aging and aging well comes with so much resistance. And I understand that myself. It doesn't feel good sometimes to go through menopause. And it's certainly not something that we are going to fix and make go away, though. It's a transition, and it's a powerful one. So let's enter 2025 with clarity, confidence, and the knowledge that we deserve better. Thank you so much for joining me today and for joining me through all of 2024. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend. Let's keep this conversation going and demand better for ourselves and each other in the new year. I hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah or whatever holidays you are celebrating right now. And until next time, take care of yourself. You are navigating the stage beautifully. And as always, if you loved this podcast, please consider gifting me with a 5-star review. It is so helpful for me to get the word out on real eating, our real bodies, and real food stories. Thank you so much and have a great week. Bye for now.